Last week I introduced and it was fine.
Ubani Ntando? Ntando Pesh.
Ntando Pesh or Ntandokazi or Ntando who?
Okay, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Are you introducing yourself?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah?
Or you saying we're talking about it like offline, or we're talking about it Sesia Kulum?
Are you introducing yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sanmonan,
Yo.
it's your yeah. Okay, let's go. One pyramid. How?
Sorry.
Hey, what's good? What's happening? It's your boy SK. We are back again with another epic episode. Hey,
See, that's the thing with intros, man.
Okay, sure. And we are back again with another epic episode. Why Enhle? Okay.
Say again
All
in
right,
double
do it.
intro. Doesn't work. Also, don't cut that out. It's great.
So no.
Don't cut that out.
All right, Mbali was the intro.
Okay, sorry. Sorry.
Please.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
And we are back again with another epic episode of the LNR podcast. My name is SK, aka Uncle SK. Okay.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah, that's my thing. That's my thing, bro. So yeah,
I like it.
Yeah. We are back. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm not alone. I'm surrounded by beauty. Ubuhle. Ay suga. Nijan.
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Yes.
Fufu.
The thick lady is
Was
the name.
good.
I'm good, man.
Introduce yourself, ma'am.
I'm Fufu the thick lady, guys.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New. I told you last week I got a job, ne? This is it. First day on the job, and I love it.
Dago. Welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Uguti embrace with your presence.
Thank you very much.
That's your presence. We can feel your presence.
Of course.
We're back
With a bag. She used the word the bag.
Dago. Fufu, Fifi. Hey, I'm coming.
Yeah, we
Thick
need to
lady.
discuss that.
Why?
Because I love the name Fiona, and I don't think I'd ever call her Fifi
But
because
no
I feel
one
like
calls me
Fiona is such a beautiful
Ever.
name. So I'm going to stick to Fiona.
Okay.
Whether you guys want to call me Fufu or the thick lady, it's okay. But the is about a confusion. Multi Fifi, uti Fufu.
Fufu. Okay.
Yeah, but me, Fiona. Done.
Okay. No one calls me Fiona. Ever.
Okay.
So awkward.
That was the first time for you.
Fifi. But I'll call you
Yes.
Fifi, Fufu, because I
Yo.
like
You
it.
like
Okay.
it. Yeah. No, I'm fine with Fufu, Fifi.
He
I'm
he
fine
likes
with
it,
that.
yeah.
Fifi was good.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel.
I will.
Welcome back to yet another episode of the LNR podcast. I am Fiona,
Love it.
aka
Own it.
Fifi.
Yeah, man.
Introduce the topic.
Yeah, man.
SK.
Let's get into it. Ntando. Is it
Ntando. I don't know if it's Ntandokazi
is
or
breaking
but
the
it says
internet.
Ntandokazi.
Ntando Besh. So apparently, Ubesh is
It's
the guy. Yeah,
so
the
it's
boyfriend.
a combined account.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like a Somhale type of thing.
Yes.
Tango.
Wow.
she-
You had to
They-
go
they-
I
there.
had to. I'm sorry.
yeah, they're breaking the internet. So the country is divided.
Yeah.
Some are saying they say we deserve and Ntando in our lives. Amantombazane atigena, nah, you guys don't deserve this because you like you are broke. There's a lot that they talking about.
put out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ntando, a humble girl, Esimbonai on the internet. What do you guys think? Have you been checking that story? Fufu.
Well, not really check it, but I've seen it appearing a couple of times on my timeline. And in Temangi Bona, and I realized how it's training, and I realized Ntengane trend is in South Africa, hey? Like Ntengane Gwens are very famous,
Ne.
you know. Also, it's social media. People show us things that they want us to see on social media,
Sure.
but what really happens in the relationship, the depth, we'll never see it. This is why it's so easy for us to sit here and suffer well and be divided as a country over a submissive woman that we think is submissive because it's shown to us, over a man who's also providing because this is what is shown to us.
Yes.
Is it something that's really happening, or is it something that's trying to get people to follow this
Yeah.
TikTok thing?
Yeah.
That's my stance.
Sure. Fifi.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Also, I also bumped into the
Yeah,
video,
yeah.
obviously, on TikTok. And at first, really, I have to be honest, I wondered, like, why is this trendy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And then the more I started, like, reading and, like, going through the videos,
yeah.
going through the comments, you get a lot
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I realized, okay, is this the reason
Why our life is at
Yeah,
standstill
like-
because of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah. I share my sentiments.
So-
That sigh says everything.
Yeah. So personally, I think, okay, over and above name, I feel like the Ntando Bash thing is a breath of fresh air. We've been seeing Abu Obani, Abu Pabi, Abu Sain Bougie, naked girls. At least she's trending for
The
a
right
good thing,
reasons.
right? Ukuthi they are relationshiping ngendlela ebonakala ngathi yindlela right, right? We don't know what happens behind closed doors nan. But over and above, I think it's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
but then also, like, what is to say, I was saying, Buji, they're also not humble to their men. It's just that what you see out there is what they want you to see out there.
But trendela izinto uthola ukuthi they're not positive in any way, right? As much as mhlambe behind closed doors, this thing, it might be vice versa. Uthola ukuthi Usain Buji is a kind, submissive woman, right, endodeni yakhe. Uthola ukuthi Ntando ku social media, she's kind, polite lady, but behind closed doors, asazi
But that's
kwenzakalani.
exactly what Fufu is saying.
Yeah.
Social media only feeds us
What we wanna see.
What we want to see.
Sure.
You understand? And I think we all take from it what we want to take from it.
Yeah.
Right? Like you said, some people are looking at her and they're like, oh, we would love women like that.
Yeah.
And some people are looking at Ubeshi like, oh, if I had
I
a
mean, like,
partner like that, maybe then I would. You
Yeah,
understand?
yeah.
And it's not I feel like it's not so much about the money. When I followed the story,
Yeah.
Sure.
it's not so much about the money. It is the treatment. It is the respect. It is how he treats her. Like, even how he speaks to her, you know? There was, you know what TikTok must, people
Yeah.
will do jokes and stuff like that. So there was a lady that was imitating Ntando with the partner,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
And the lady was like, oh, Red Bull, like she was saying. And then this guy,
Because-
yeah,
the sudden sales of Red Bull also
Yeah.
went up.
I mean, it's marketing at
Yeah,
the end of the day.
yeah.
But all this to say, Guti, even as they imitate the couple, like you can see, this guy is like, yeah, but the Red Bull, but the way that Ubesh was saying it was in such a graceful way. And I also think, Guti, with this whole story, like, we're giving so much props to Ntando, and we are neglecting how the guy
Yeah.
is treating her, right? And I feel like a lot of the times in relationships, I think I even mentioned this last week, but a lot of the times it's reciprocation.
Sure.
I feel like if men could understand that a lot of the times they're the ones that set the standard
Yeah, they
in the
lead.
relationship, and then as they lead, we follow accordingly. You understand?
Yeah.
So I think for you to be that kind of a woman as well, you need a man that is going to step up, that is going to love you right.
True.
Yeah.
So easy to submit when you're led right and when
Yeah.
you're loved right.
Sure.
You understand? So you cannot expect a woman or fana non Ntadokazi. Let's just say, from what we see, right? You can't expect a submissive woman and a lady who's calm and, you know, the way that she is
Yeah.
and whatever it is that you suffer willing, if when you don't take care of her,
Yeah.
if you don't consider her feelings. I'm saying, I started going through their videos, right? And he's so gentle with her. Like, he what do they call this word? He affirms her, you know, like he'll be there taking pictures like, oh, mushumtwami,
Yeah.
whatever, and she's smiling.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? It's also the treatment that comes from the guy. And I think a lot of attention has been put on her without looking at how is
how
the guy
it's so easy for
treating
her to
Yes.
reciprocate it because the guy is already leading.
Yes.
Which is something I wanted to mention because I remember we had this conversation last week.
Yeah.
But it's also easy for us to enforce these things in a relationship. It starts with communication. You know, being able to sit down with you and say to you, I don't like this. I don't like the way you speak to me, you know? And also, if we're going to be having pet names,
Yeah.
I call you babe, I call you my spouse. I feel like even in the midst of argument, let's not move from that. To make you understand that, Lalela, we're not okay right now, but I still regard you as my person. Maybe let's find a way to sort out these things. I think we always look at other people's relationship and think, Yazin, they have it better. We can literally do the same thing
Yeah.
by just implementing all these things that we see and say, I want to take a different approach. Maybe let's stop screaming at each other, but let's talk to each other like adults. What is your issue? And then it also makes it easy for a man to be able to be vulnerable with me as umuntu wesifazane, because I've already opened that. You know, I'm not already screaming. I'm not, in the midst of an argument, I'm not leaving. I'm hearing you out. So it's things that we can also practice in our relationship. And it's something that it's not a train smash. We shouldn't be looking and applauding other relationship. Clap. It's their season. If they're happy, there's nothing wrong with that. But let's also look at it as some sort of inspiration to fix our relationship with our partners.
I think also another thing is when you look at social media, like now, I go on there, I scroll through the TikToks and whatnot, and you think that this literally happened overnight.
Yeah.
It did not happen overnight. It's building.
Yeah.
It's understanding each other. It's knowing what's, Muntami, she'll smile when I say she's beautiful. She likes it when I affirm her, Bewam, she wants to be treated like this. I can literally say no, and I can go to the garage and bring her that Red Bull, and she'll be happy. Muntami, appreciate the small things, those kind of things. It's things that are nurtured. They don't, it doesn't just happen
overnight,
and it's not always good. That's also another thing, because we scroll through social media and we see all the happy moments. I think the minute we start realizing that social media is basically a combination of all our happy moments, then we will grasp it. Then you will know, but no, man, like Omotami is fine. We fought here and here, but literally it's one of those things where, when you fought with someone and then you start thinking about all the good things that you've had. That's your social media looking into your own relationship in a sense. When you want to leave someone, you'll hear people saying, I wanted to leave, but then I sat down and I realized there's more good than bad. That good was literally you scrolling through the feed and realizing, no, man, actually we've had such good moments. Because in your relationship you experience it every day. You go through the emotions every day. It doesn't look as appealing as when you go on social media and you see Sfiso and the wife, they are happy every day,
I feel like I agree with you ladies. I feel like also with everything that is happening on social media, we must take it with a pinch of salt. Because now, as you said, Uguti, they're showing us the side, nice and fun. Of which, that's what happens on your Instagrams. Yes. You don't show yourself waking up looking crusty.
No, I'm not going to post a picture
you
of
understand?
me looking crusty. No,
so, it's the very same thing. La abas komba yona Ntando no besh. Of which, yes, it's beautiful. They're showing us good things. We don't want to see the negative things. Scissors give up or umatandan. I also feel like it's a, if Sibuga, let's say whatever they're giving us, let's judge that. It's a beautiful South African love story, right? They love each other, they complement each other. Of which I feel like it's important for couples to get yourself someone who complements you, who brings out the best in you. You understand? So I don't know how you guys feel about the negative comments now, because it's more like fights, because our typical women now are there saying, you South African men don't deserve this, you don't treat us well, you don't have money, you don't have, those are negative comments. Whereas utoluguti umuntu wako, they are doing more than what Upesh is doing for Ntandokazi. You understand? You might find that your man bought you a car, bought you this. This guy is buying her, I don't know, Red Bulls or whatever, treating her right. Yes, it's important, I'm treated right, but there are other relationships where ungathi mawabheka ukuthi lo muntu lo is being ungrateful because now this person they are in a relationship in a different level, because we can't relationship in the same way. Your relationship will be different from mine will be different from
I get what you're saying, but I want to go back to a story I read, Yaga Black Coffee, who was actually sitting down in an interview and said uthengele Enhle Mbali a car. And the expectation yake was, you know, for her to cry, be over the moon, you bought me a car. But reaction yake was like, oh, it's a nice car, you know. But also I kind of felt like that was me getting you a car to show you that that's how I'm going to love you. But listen, he's not also still addressing the things that are happening in marriage. Let's sit down, let's talk about it. But if you are going to send me money just to say you're sorry, but instead of sitting down with me and talking about the issue at hand, resulting you to spoil me, then that defeats the purpose. Because we do a lot of things for men and they do a lot of things for us. But I'm not gonna clap at you for treating me like, you know, for treating me terribly for the past couple of months, and you want to overcompensate it by a car, and you expect me to, oh my word, now I need to be submissive because you thought you need to buy me something nice. No, let's find the root cause of the issue.
That's true. I feel like another thing also is let's take time to learn how our partners receive love, how they would love to be loved, right? There's people who are, I value your time more than I value the material things you're going to buy me.
True.
So like you're saying, let's address the issue. I'm not going to be excited over a car when my love language is not gifts.
Yeah.
Maybe my love language is just quality time. I just
Let's
want
talk
you
about,
to be there. You understand? But you are not there. And ukungabi khona kwakho, then you're gonna start buying me all of these things like, oh yeah, I bought you this, I bought you that. That's not my love language. That's not how I receive love. And I think another thing that we do a lot is imposing our love language on our partners. So you think because you love ukuthengelwa gifts, now if I buy Fufu a gift as my partner, she's going to be excited. No, that's how you love to be loved. Maybe Ufufu just wants you to serve her. You know, she's just maybe the kind of person who she's on top of the world.
You know,
do you understand what I mean?
Take my car to
but
the car
when
wash.
you are there, take my car to the car wash. You know, in a full tank.
It's little things,
and I
man.
am happy. Like I don't need you to buy me a G-Wagon. I'm fine. I just need you to be present. So I think if we could learn our people and what our people love, then.
So you guys as ladies, I'm glad to get in too. Without Upesh doing something for you, you've seen Uguti, okay, doing something for Ntando. You've seen how men are so excited about Ntando. Uguti, oh, this is what a woman should be. This is a humble what. Without criticizing men in general, what have you learned? Or what's your takeaway from what Ntando is like? Yes, on the socials, whatever. We don't know what was but what's your take, looking at how men are so excited about a humble woman like Ntando, and how she is. I mean, the number I've seen, she's like a humble, nice woman. What's your take? How? What's your learnings from that?
Yeah, your question, man. Also, I feel like men are capable of doing that. They don't need to look at another woman on TikTok and saba that. They can enforce that.
Okay, but before enforcing, how? Okay, let's rewind. Don't you think Nati we deserve to have someone who acts right before Nati see? Because now it seems like you guys will want to act right just because your man acts right.
But then that's the thing, man, SK. I need to, it also goes back to what we discussed on our first date.
Sure.
What is it that we both want? Are we transparent enough with each other? Guti, this is commitment or siyadlala. And then I think it starts there by understanding guti, who are we and where we're going in this relationship.
Sure.
I'm still going to go back to the point to guti, submission comes very easily when a man leads, right? And kunalento yabantu abadala ukuthi kumele uthole indoda ezokuthanda, and it's easy for you to reciprocate that, even if you love the man more. But I think it's simple, isn't it? Man, it's loyalty, it's respect, and impatho. Yeah, it's that. And if you are able to pave the way for me as a woman in the relationship and respect me, it's easy for me to do the same thing. So you guys, we are wired differently. You guys are logical thinkers. We are nurturers, right? And if the logical thinker, which is the head and I'm the neck, you need to drive me in order for me to steer you. But as a woman, I can't just get into the ship and drive. That's not my job. It's your job for umuntu wesilisa to lead. This is why we can't marry ourselves. And if we could, it would be so easy, because I'd say to you, I see you, I like you, I want to marry. But that's your decision to make. It's the same thing with the relationship. In order for it to work, yes, the both of us need to steer it in the correct direction. But you're the head. Lead me to that. And I'll guide you to that as umuntu wesifazane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me have a take on that. So I think Fufu is right, and I think for me, your question is, can't we just do that without you imprompting it, right? And like it's not the natural way of things.
Okay.
And for
wait,
me,
sorry. Let me cut you there, Askis. What makes you to change it just because mina as a man I'm not being a bash?
Okay. So like Fufu said, we are wired very differently. And even the Bible will say, men love your wives, women submit. Natural way of things, you understand? And now I don't think as a man you would find pleasure from me just steering the ship and being in my masculinity. I'm not meant to be in my masculinity. I'm meant to be in my femininity.
Sure.
And then when, as a man, in your masculinity, you're supposed to lead. And hence why I was saying in my previous point, if men could understand that the tone in relationship is set by them, like Tina, our heart is softened by the things that we hear, by the things that you say, by how you treat us. And my heart becomes so softened that sometimes there's a guy Okshelayo and you don't like this guy, like you literally like look at him and you're like, I will never date this person, but because of how he treats you, because he shows up, because he shows his intention, he's present, he's there, you end up finding yourself in a situation where you're like, I actually like this guy. Do you understand? And I also feel like as men, you feel it when you're not given your place. Let's be honest, right? You also, in your nature, you are meant to lead. And when I lead and steer the ship, you're gonna have a problem. Because now you can't show up. I'm not allowing you to show up. So uzogcina uthi kimi, why kanti ufuna ukuzenzela yonke into kanti khona, like mina kanti ngikusiza kuphi? At this, so in the same rate as you guys want us to lead or to probe or to give you something so that I can get something out of you, the same way that it happens with you when it comes to us, when we action that, you are still going to be the one that's not satisfied with how things are going.
That's not what I'm saying necessarily, right? What I'm saying is, how about, let's say this is a starting point. You are a woman, I'm a man. We pull together equally, but not you are pulling as a woman. You know your position, you know your strength as a woman, you know what you should do as a woman. Do not expect me to take a few steps before you take your first steps. Because now, what if I take my 2 steps and when I still at 0? And then I look at you and I'm like, no, this is not the one. Without you proving anything or showing anything that you are a woman. You understand what I'm saying? pull it. Okay. What's your
I'm
you-
trying to understand.
You're not getting it.
No, I'm really
No,
trying to
I get
understand.
it. I really get it. I
You get
really
me?
get what he's trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
pull in. Okay, what I'm saying is pull. Okay, as we are pulling, you are pulling as a woman. You say, okay, let's ask siyenze ibe typical nje.
Yeah.
Okay, zija wenza ini uyapheka nani. Mina I bring ukudla endlini. Yeah, maybe I go buy grocery because maybe I'm a provider nani,
That's
right?
an
Yeah.
example.
You understand? That's
an
this,
example,
it's an example.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'm giving you
I'm about to go into gender roles.
Yeah.
you understand? So let's say, for instance, I bring the grocery. I'm a provider. I say, here's the grocery, and I'm expecting you to make the food, make the meal, make the home ibe hikai. You understand? The house make it
I hear
ibe
you.
hikai.
Your home,
I
understand?
hear you.
Mm.
Mm.
And when you're not doing that, you're not being Ntandokazi. Let's say being Ntandokazi is you cooking,
Yeah.
making sure everything is in place, and you're not doing that. You're expecting me to do more before you start doing that.
I absolutely get you.
Sure.
But I feel like those are things that should be discussed
Yeah.
when we are getting to know each other. Remember, there was a time when I said, the dating way, that how we interpret dating as a black community and how white people interpret dating is very
different.
different,
Yeah.
right? So when I'm saying dating, I'm referring to what white people call dating, where you go on a date, you sit with someone, and you are born good.
It's not the one.
It's not the one,
Yeah.
and you move to the next one, and you move to the next one until you find somebody that you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
I feel like those kind of conversations are conversations that I had there when you're on a date and you're putting it on the table that Mina,
Angikwazi ukupheka.
Mina, that's not even ukuthi
Kukhona
not
abantu
even
who say angikwazi ukupheka on the first date.
not even ukuthi angikwazi ukupheka. But what are your expectations of a partner?
Yes.
And what are my expectations of a partner? Because we're not always going to speak gender roles. Some men are like, oh, mina angifuni umfazi ophuzayo. Some men say, mina ngeke ngikhone ngomfazi
Yeah.
ongaphuzi.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? So these things
True.
go back to preference. We can all say, look at her and be like, oh, sifuna Ntandokazi. But somebody might be watching and they see that she drinks and they're like, angimfuni ke
This is
mina Ntandokazi
yeah.
because
Also-
these are my standards.
Yeah.
Sure.
It also goes back to I'm going to reveal something in the podcast, something personal about you. I'm sorry.
About who?
It's okay. So remember
Yes, I
after the
am.
podcast,
Yeah.
we had dinner. Your wife cooked.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to use the word wife because you corrected us and you were like, she's
Ah,
not
yeah,
a
come on,
fiance.
come on.
She is a
Do
wife.
it
Yeah.
right,
She
do it
is a
right.
wife.
He said,
Yeah.
my wife, right?
Yeah.
And we had a nice meal. And I remember when we were enjoying this meal, because Fifi and I were digging in our plates.
we
we
were.
were.
Yeah.
Nice meal,
She
by
did
the
the
way.
things.
And you said, "Ayaswela shy pot."
Yeah.
Beka umuntu ongathanda ukupheka, you
Sure,
know?
sure.
But because you loved her for who she is,
Yeah.
Yes.
you were willing to be patient in order for her to have that expectation on your end to cook.
Sure.
Rome wasn't built in one day. I may say to you on my date, angikwazi ukupheka. But because that's what you expect and that's what you want from me, I'm not saying I'm not going to learn
Yeah.
in order for this to make it work.
Sure.
But I'm saying this is not who I am. I don't know it, but bear with me. I will definitely do it so I can understand your perfect setting and you can understand good nami. The reason why I don't do it is because ngibuye ekhaya where you know my mom never used to cook.
Yeah.
This is just an example.
Sure.
So it is so easy to communicate things, you know. Maybe you might not have a woman who's Ntandokazi when you first meet her, but you steer the way in making sure that she is. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and also like
Rome
I'm
was
saying,
not
it's
built in
like
one
it
day.
depends. It depends on what are your requirements. There's men who don't care, like whether uyakwazi ukupheka or awukwazi. I don't need you to cook. Sizothola u-aunt endlini, aunt uzopheka.
Uzophekela.
Because
And
the
that
same
guy is
food
okay.
we cook, because the same food we cook la endlini we could buy la besibaba yakupheka. It's
And
cooked
uthola
food. You
umuntu
understand?
who's okay with that, who's like muntu wami angifuna upheke ngikuthanda the way ungakhona, it's okay. And there are men who's like, but I want you to cook, but maybe take cooking classes, I'll pay for them, and let's see how it goes.
Sure.
And then there comes people who know how to cook where it's just an effortless thing to the rest
And
of us.
because that's also another thing. Like it's what do I like and what do you like? You understand? If you're gonna say to me, "Mina ngifuna umfazi ophekayo," and I say, I can, but I don't really like
it.
cooking.
Yeah.
Well, and you hear my reasons out. Maybe I don't like to because bengiyenza every day ekhaya. So now I just feel like I just need to rest a bit. I want to do it when I want to do it. You know? And it's just all about getting to know each other and knowing ukuthi umuntu ufunani. So to answer your question, is it valid when men are looking at Ntandokazi and they are saying we want Ntandokazi?
Yeah.
For me, it's sure. If you want somebody who's like her, you know, or pegayo or humbly or however submissive or whatever. Then great, it's valid because that's what you want. But there's a guy out there who's like, I don't see the hype
about it.
I don't see the hype.
There's the same thing, Guti. There are women who are sabawelling this bash guy, and there are women who are like, really, I'm not into materialistic thing. You know, I don't need a person who's going to validate his love by making sure that he spoils me and shower. You know, sometimes I just want to walk through the mall, you know, and hold, you know, your hands. Kind of like what Fifi said, is that I'm an act of service way to, and our love languages is not the same. You know, so we might all want a man who is able to provide, but sometimes we want the love.
Exactly.
Understand me.
Yazi, when mausasho logo ne, I feel like another woman lo otigena, yo, you guys or nina madoda, you don't deserve Ntandokazi nan. You can take a different woman, someone from anywhere, umnike ubesh, uthola ukuthi they will not gel.
Yeah.
And ubesh uthola ukuthi he still does the same things as enzela uNtandokazi, and it doesn't work.
Compatibility.
You understand? Exactly. So it's not necessarily, if it's not necessarily, so it's basically relationships are different.
Yeah.
People like different things.
Yeah.
So we must not look at layer relationship. Okay, we sabawell this one because of this one. So I think how we should look at it, we should reflect. Uti good relationship yami yini ngithandayo, yini umuntu amayithandayo, yini ekumele ngisebenze kuyo that I'm not doing well, and then ngizama ukuthi at least ngikhuphule lapho. Uyamazi man umuntu wakuthi when you buy them flowers they get all excited, they like it. Uthola ukuthi, I mean there are a lot of Ntandokazi in South Africa, a lot of them. Uthola ukuthi they're not televised because this is a televised
love story and social media.
Exactly. So but also I feel like South African women must stop with this thing yokuthi ba degrade amadoda just because there's Ntandokazi and we are celebrating Ntandokazi. We like how she. But also at the at the same time, men should not see Ntandokazi and disregard ukuthi abantu babo banjani. Uthola ukuthi they have Ntandokazi. It's just that he doesn't realize that he has Ntandokazi. Go ahead.
I think I lost my train of thought.
Lost my train of thought. But also we must in situations, whenever a situation comes or a trend is happening, you must look at it. Okay, how can I work on myself?
I think what you're saying is true because you don't necessarily look at it from a point of, oh, this is what I'm sabawelling and whatnot. It's a chance for you to reflect on yourself as well, to say, how can I do better in order for my relationship to flourish? And what is it that umuntu wami ayithandayo? Where do I need to improve in order for us to not even like set them as a standard of your relationship, but to say in order for us to reach our peak, our peak might be over them. Our peak might be just under or whatever. But in order for us to reach our peak,
what is it that I draw inspiration from the relationship?
There's a guy out there who's sabawelling Ntandokazi and he has a better woman than Ntandokazi.
But he doesn't see it.
But he doesn't see it.
I'm going to make an example. I have a celebrity couple that I absolutely love so much and I follow them religiously. And this is Dr. Musa Mtombeni and Lisa Laurie. I absolutely love them because Dr. Musa Mtombeni just openly loves Lisa Laurie, right? And for me, to want a man who's going to love me loudly and proudly, I need to steer the way, you know, for the same thing. Affirm this man, you know, love this man, and be like, listen, yes, yes, there are other guys who are DMing me, there are other guys who abang shelai, but I don't want you to worry about that. Know that I handle it for you. You know, so you sometimes draw inspiration for that. But marangzobuga every single day how Dr. Musa Mtombeni post Ulizel. I'm going to be confined and defined by that, and like have this expectation. Exactly. I want my man to post me, and my man is not a poster. I posty. But social media. But in order for me to want him to love me that way, I need to love him the very same way and respect him.
Yeah. I think for me, like, South Africa just needs to get to a point where we are okay with admiring and saying, you know what, this is beautiful and it's fine and it's fine, okay.
It's okay.
Because even with Musa Mtombeni, when it started and he was posting his wife, and he was like, oh, this guy will see you, or
every
this
day,
guy, whatever,
all the time.
You know,
that's always the
so
case.
There's always. I mean, I was reading the comments with Ntando. They're like, hey, Pesh, I'll meet you Selomuntu. Like, wait until you get pregnant and then you will see him run. You know, like those. It's like just.
You know what happens?
Look at something beautiful, admire it, take inspiration from it.
You know the problem with us South Africans, doesn't matter in the problem with us, instead of admiring, sibanalento yo mona. You understand? Sibanalento yo envy, and then it turns into jealousy. So no mona. Then whatever you comment lapo, you are like, abam pregiris. Why are you hoping for negativity? Good relationship.
I think it's also imposing your own experiences on somebody else. When you're gonna say, wait until he makes you pregnant. Chances are
this also this also goes back to what I said last week. I feel that in a culture yamajita men, you guys are each other's biggest competition. This is why it's so easy for you as the next man usabawela ufufu the thick lady because yabongi chere yako and you don't understand how you got to be in a relationship with me. Because you guys are always looking at each other as the biggest competition. But you guys, I feel like sometimes you never want to clap for each other and be like, yeah man, is this relationship thing you have going on, Fiona, is great, man, I like it, you know, I'm battling this, how can I work on that? But you always like no,
do you? The bottom line, Gule conversation, I think it's do you. Relationships are not the same. Whatever that worked for Abazalbak will not work for you. Whatever that worked for your friends, it's not going to work for you. So do you be your own
person?
Exactly.
Make your own rules as you also go.
I think that's the bottom line of relationships. You get into a relationship, if uzothatha whatever you guys were doing with the previous relationship,
true,
because now you're coming with all this, let's say toxic, you come with all those toxic traits, you want to do the same things, not the current person.
I think back to our conversation last week, therapy is important.
True.
And
reflection
after a relationship, introspection, and
so
back to that again.
So it's basically cleansing yourself and move on to the next.
Because the thing is, remember, when you don't reflect on your own mistakes, or when you don't reflect on the things that affected you in the relationship, when you move forward, SK maybe I phone because SK begalel or whatever the case.
Now it's a trigger.
Because lang we are corner.
True.
It's a trigger.
True.
You understand? True. So it's also that, like, taking the time to introspect and to see what's like, okay.
And also healing.
I don't think I've
from
healed.
This breakup as well is important. Healing is also very important.
So I think for today's conversation, the crux of the matter is we draw inspiration from these beautiful couples in order for us to work on our own relationships, in order for us to reach the peak of our relationships. It may be over that, under that, but we just make an effort so that we can be the best versions of ourselves. Lasi kona kona.
Sharp. And do you.
Yeah, do you.
And do you. Because it's cool social media. It's a talent to leo ucabanguthi right to tell ukuthi ayisebenzeli wena. My question now, as you see, are you the person that you are looking for from your partner?
Am I the person that I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Yes,
In a partner.
I am. But I'm
Okay.
not perfect.
Okay.
Yes, I'm going to say that boldly, 40.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect. I want certain things, and in order for me to get those certain things, I need to put myself in that very same level and be able to do those certain things. Am I expecting to be corrected in the relationship as I go? Yes. I'm not perfect. Call me out for my toxic traits, for my mistakes, for also being selfish and want to do this thing because I'm a woman and we feel like it's important because we matter. No, men matter too. So as my partner, be able to sit me down and be like, but this is not about you. This is about us. Let's work on that. But I would marry me within a heartbeat, man.
That was my question.
I would marry me
You took it-
within a heartbeat.
Yeah,
I'll be like, yes, girl.
Beautiful. That was my next question.
Question,
Would you
marry
date yourself?
I would.
date yourself?
But you took
Yeah.
it to another level.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think, yes, I would date myself.
Marry yourself.
I would marry myself, definitely. I feel like with partners, it's tricky. It's a very tricky question because if I'm marrying myself, it means I have the same values as myself. Do you
Yeah.
understand what I mean? So I think for me, I feel like a lot of people date for pleasure and not purpose.
Yeah.
Like you date not looking at the end goal. And when you date for purpose, the crux of your relationship is centered around your values, right? Because those are the things that are gonna hold your relationship. Must say you look otherwise, or now you've fallen pregnant, you've gained weight,
Yeah.
or now whatever. So
You're
I feel
raising
like people,
kids as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like people date for how umuntu maybe somebody looks or how but like I'm aesthetics, things that will not matter in the next 5 years when we are in the house and we need to be solving serious
issues.
serious
Yeah.
issues like ubuhle bakho buyongisiza ngani. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like, yeah, definitely I would date myself because I feel like if I was myself looking for someone, I would be looking for somebody with the same values as me. So
Also, this thing, Futhi, also comes with age. What do I feel like? Would I've dated myself 7-8 years ago? No, because I was a different person back then. But right now, I feel like I'm in a space and in a position where I've grown. Experiences have taught me. You know, I've learned to also reflect, and I've learned to understand myself, and I've learned to also let go of and learn of certain things. But like I said, it's not something that's going to work overnight. You're still going to work through it.
And like you said, you have mistakes.
You
like
have
if we say we're
mistakes.
gonna marry ourselves, we're not necessarily saying, "Oh, I'm this
Uzoba
perfect human
No,
being."
no. There'll be days where I don't feel like talking to myself because I'm like that. That is one of my terrible toxic traits. Guti, I'm upset with you. Don't come at me. I don't want to talk to you. But now I need to understand, good, now I'm married to myself. How do I handle that? Because I
Yes.
also need to be able to sacrifice and be like, but this is unfair on you. And the
Yeah.
fact that I'm not speaking to you, maybe let's iron it out.
Sure. As routine, do your own thing.
Would you marry yourself, sir? They've married you, yes. Would
right
you?
now? Right now,
Yeah.
definitely,
Of course.
definitely,
Because of the person that you are now, right?
definitely.
Yeah.
Man. I've grown. That's one thing. I've grown, and I realized I'm a mistake swam, and I understand what I'm a mistake swam. Asazonglandela. You understand?
Yeah.
Ukuthi,
Ooh.
whatever I did, still isazoba ukuthi. You understand? You know, ukuthi.
Yes.
Kusanokuba nalawo ma conversations, but I'm willing ukuthi ngithi, yes, I did 1, 2, 3. I
Yeah.
account.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
I
So
think that's a beautiful, that's
That's
such a
also
beautiful perspective.
important,
Like I
yeah.
like that you, and I think I've mentioned this even here, that you, when you hurt me and when you do things to me, you don't dictate when I heal, and you don't dictate
Or you also
how
don't validate
I heal.
why I'm
Yes.
angry.
You can't say
Yeah.
to me, Guti, no, but like it's been so many years. You're still not letting go of. No. You made your bed. Be willing to lay on it until I am okay. Allow me that as well. So I like that, Guti. You're saying my mistakes still follow me. I think that's something that a lot of people don't want to admit. So my mistakes still follow me. It was my mistakes. I made them. Unfortunately, I was immature at that time. But
Yeah.
right now I'm grown and I'm willing to do better. But what I'm not gonna do is sit there and be like, you need to get over it.
Yeah, and acknowledgement and
fair.
atoning is something that's also very important in a relationship, because once you start acknowledging that, to me it's like, okay, you realize your mistakes, but let's work from that. Are you atoning? Are you saying sorry for the sake of peace? Or are you saying, sorry, I'm working on myself. I may not be perfect next week or next month, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Because the acknowledgement ibalulekile nayo.
True.
Then validation of another person's feelings.
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Give yourself time.
Yeah, and don't validate kwata work and be like, she's always angry, she's gonna be angry.
The drama.
Yeah,
We
guys,
drama.
we
Because
react.
sometimes we take it on the surface.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's deep-rooted issues, and sometimes we overlook that, and we like, but angry also. But right, how about we discuss, Guti, why is it this thing gets you so worked up, and then we understand the deep-rooted issue of it is this is the reason why. And don't expect me to react differently because we discussed ukuthi, we've been discussing it. If it's hater, I'm still going to react to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hi, Bafethu, let's asibambe lapho. It was beautiful. It was nice. Thank you so much. And
As usual.
but asiyeke nukuloko sijahela izinto ze-social media. I think more than anything, let's asibuke mara ezinye singazithathi serious. Sizibuke mara singazithathi serious, because now for all we know, mhlawumbe ubheshu uyamchithela nje uNtandokazi. We don't know.
We don't know that
We don't know.
because it's not shown.
And we wish for uBesh. There are women abafuna uBesh manje. There are men abafuna uNtandokazi. And we don't know ukuthi uNtandokazi unjani mhlambe makwatile. Mhlambe bashuta ama video bajabulile, but we don't know. But yeah, do your own relationship, ube right. It's been amazing. My name is SK, aka Uncle SK, and I'm with
Go for the thick lady, and I'll see you guys next time.
Dango. Ubani munye naye.
Fiona,
Fiona.
aka Fifi.
Dango. Peace.
Cheers, guys.
Share, subscribe, like. Please, let's grow.
Please.
It's good conversations. Yeah,
We out.
it's been nice. Dango.
Bye.